channel, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button, tell a friend, tell a friend. Here we have another crazy story, another crazy story. I mean, I mean, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where, I mean, I don't know, but P. Diddy, he's well known. I believe almost everybody knows P. Diddy who's over a certain age. I think so. I think so. Here's what happened the day after Biggie passed away.
His music was all about?
Oh man, basically, it's basically about what happened. He's basically raps about death, but still he was a good person, you know what I mean?
They said Biggie, and I said he used to rap about a lot of death on himself, unfortunately, life after death, ready to die, things like that. It's a terrible thing what happened to Biggie.
About everything that went on in life daily, and it was real bad to me that he died because he was a real smart rapper, you know what I mean? He said things that I like to hear, and
Biggie was idolized by a lot of individuals in his time. Just like how individuals like a Lil Durk would be idolized right now by a lot of individuals in his time.
it's just kind of sad what happened. I hope it's not a retaliation, to me,
What kind of retaliation?
Unfortunately, I don't know if there was ever, I don't know.
What are you thinking?
East side, west side type of, rapping, we been feuding on the east side and west side, but it's been a lot.
Right now, individuals just feuding everywhere. Locals.
Getting back together, you know what I mean? And it just happens that he's from the east side and he's on the west side when this happens,
But it's so bad right now. It used to be coast to coast. Right now, it's street for street. Right now, it's projects for projects. Imagine that.
I think it's really nothing to do with that. I think it has to do with him and his personal something, I just hope it's not that type of, thought in other people's minds,
I mean, retaliation. A lot of individuals, like Lil Durk, for example, they feel like a retaliation is sometimes it's the best thing to do, even though it's not.
I think it was bound to happen. He was talking a lot about Tupac and West Coast rappers, and Tupac got shot up.
A lot of these individuals, they put things in their music, and when they put things in their music, it usually comes to fruition most of the times. And the things they're talking about is not usually productive, so usually unproductive things happen to them most of the time, unfortunately.
Elevator or whatever, and I think it's bound to happen. It was his turn. He came out here. He was, talking too much on the radios, and he was everywhere. Everybody knew he was out here.
Imagine that. Brick Baby said if Lil Durk called him and asked him for Quando Rondo's location, he said he would have gave it to him. Think about that. He would have go out of his way to insert himself in a crime. Think about that.
Seas or whatever, and, he just got caught slipping at the wrong time.
You think it's a clear-cut case of this rivalry?
Yeah, I think so. It might not have to do with Death Row and Bad Boy, but, it got...
Death Row, Bad Boy, two CEOs, two individuals behind the bars right now as I speak. It's crazy. These individuals, instead of just making music, they want to indulge in crimes also.
But East Coast, West Coast, for sure, yeah. So
what's your opinion of that? Isn't that crazy?
It's, it's their life, whatever. They was millionaires. They had money,
They had money. They were millionaires. They threw it all away. Millionaires behind the bars. They want to play with guns and they were millionaires. Think about that. They didn't want to. They didn't want to be on the yachts. They want to hang out on the yachts. They want to play with guns.
And you know, they was in fame all the time. They was always in the light, you know, always on the.
It's bound to happen. It's bound to P. Diddy living a bad boy lifestyle would have caught up to him. It's bound to happen.
So you both listen to his stuff?
A lot, yeah. He got nice music, like I said, and money is no need to really continue on with how your life used to be. And so now, I guess, it shows a lot of.
What he just said. You have money. There's no reason to continue living your life like how it used to be. Imagine that. Lil Durk, even though he had the money, he still kept on living his life like how it used to be before he had the money. Now he's in jail.
That you don't carry your lifestyle on with you. That you
Why
learn.
did you come out here today?
Well, I came out because I'm a big fan of Biggie Small.
Living that lifestyle. That lifestyle. I'm a gangster. I'm a gangster. Imagine that. Everybody want to be a gangster.
And
Unbelievable.
I feel really horrible that something this tragic had to happen to such a great star. You know, I mean, we can't even have a good concert out here without people fighting and shooting each other.
They said the days of going to concerts and going to club without worrying about someone fighting or shooting, those days are almost over. Imagine that. You can't have fun anymore. You can't have fun anymore. Yeah, I'm on the block right now. While everybody's sleeping, I'm right here chilling.
I mean, you know,
The whole East-West rap beef that's going on between, you know,
Rap beef's been going on for years. They never stopped. They just got worse. They just got worse. That's it.
and the West.
That was it.
It's ludicrous. I think it's ludicrous.
What makes you think this was an East-West thing?
Well, I don't necessarily think that it was an East-West thing, but you got to take into consideration the fact that Tupac was killed.
So I said, it's an old interview. It's an old interview. And things never change. Only thing changed is that Puff Daddy and Suge Knight are behind the bars right now. That's the only thing that really changed.
Almost what, not even 6 months ago, and a lot of people was faulting Notorious Biggs' his whole camp for bringing that about, but I don't think that had anything to do with
Can
it.
you explain that?
Don't forget, hit like, subscribe button. Like, subscribe button.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know a whole lot about that. About the whole why they were blaming and what happened.
Okay, about 3-4 years ago, apparently Tupac was shot in New York when he was recording.
As you see, it's an old interview I'm going over. But still, P. Diddy, he's been wrapped up in these type of issues. What I mean by issues, I mean, you know, with the law for years now.
Yeah, Ready to Die. He was recording Ready to Die. He was shot, and apparently for some reason, I guess he feels that they were responsible for it. Largely in part because I think where he was shot at, he was shot in their offices, the office building, the lobby, and then supposedly he was supposed to meet Notorious around the corner to do some recordings in the studio.
As I said, P. Diddy's been a bad boy since the early 90s.
He took it to heart, especially because of a song that he made called Who Shot You? And, you know.
So you think that, and explain this to me, that people
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Miss Mixed Shorts?
thinking that maybe the Tupac thing had something to do with the East Side rappers?
Well, no, some people believe, some people seriously that
Beef's been going on for years. Beef got all these rappers killed, and Beef got all these rappers behind the bars. That's all Beef has been doing for over the past many decades. When will it stop? When will these individuals learn? Beef is only meant to be eaten, and that's it. You know, if you know the vegetarian.
that existed between the two of them, and a lot of people believe because of that beef that existed between the two of them brought that shooting about. But there's a lot of other rumors here in Los Angeles that say that.
and it's sending a horrible message out. I mean, you know, we have all these youth, these teachers.
California's a dangerous place. You know, Tupac passed away in California. They said Biggie passed away in California. And Lil Durk went all the way to California to go commit a crime. And most likely, he's basically gone too. Think about that. I mean, what's so good about California? I don't know.
The kids look up to these people. I mean, we can't even have a good, decent time out here without people shooting and fighting each other. It's horrible. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I'm coming out of the club, and I'm like, oh, my God, they're shooting. We're here? Well, actually,
A lot of individuals, believe it or not, some individuals go to clubs just to stop problems. Imagine that. They don't go to party. They don't go to party. They don't go to have fun. They go to cause problems. That's it.
coming inside, coming here to the club.
Premeditated problems. Imagine that. They say, you know what? I'm going to the club. Anybody step on my shoes, you know what I'm going to do? Imagine that. Premeditated problems.
And they were like, and he told me this morning, Biggie. Well, I didn't really see anything because I couldn't get in. There was so many people here. It was just like really packed. And I was wondering why is all this commotion out here? And I noticed that everyone was just like, and I didn't find out till this morning when he called that he was dead.
It's crazy. It's like, you know, that's what happened to Dex Osama. Dex Osama went to the club. He went to the club to have fun. He never made it. Clubs are dangerous. Imagine that. R.I.P. to Dex Osama.
What's your name?
My name is Tony Moses.
Tony Moses, and your name?
My name is Millard.
What is it?
Millard Hill.
And will you spell your first name for me just in case?
Millard.
Alright.
Millard, what a name.
Yeah, huge fan.
I'm just a huge rap fan, period. East and West. Exactly.
A lot of people are rap fans, and the only thing they hear in their ears is nothing but violence and violence and violence.
Peace, Biggie.
Biggie, I love you, baby.
Tupac, you too. Maybe
Tupac,
most of these
yeah.
guys.
Violence.
Because I mean, that's
Great
terrible.
rappers, two huge rappers.
No, senseless. No reason. No reason for it to happen. My name is William.
Your last name, William?
I mean, is it after a while making so many money, you just get bored? You don't know what else to do with it? So you do unproductive things? I don't know.
It doesn't matter about my last name. I think it's unfortunate for any human being to be shot, period. It's,
They said Lil Durk went all the way to California, jumped on a private plane to go commit a crime. Imagine that. He's committing a crime in luxury. Imagine committing a crime in luxury.
it's unfortunate for the entertainment industry to lose a star, but maybe he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And
Nah, they said Lil Durk got on that private jet and said, you know what? I got to be there. I got to be there hands-on. You know? Imagine that.
did something like me, for instance, might have, aggravated somebody to cause this to happen to him.
They said Lil Durk went all the way to California to go commit a crime, and he didn't even get the man he wanted to get. Imagine that. Imagine that. Waste of time. Unbelievable.
His music?
Not really. I'm a West Coast dubs, you know.
Tell us about that whole thing. What's the difference, and is there a rivalry there, West Coast and East Coast?
I really can't say. It's
You would think those individuals from Chicago, from what happened to FBG Duck, O Block 6, you would have thought they would have learned. They didn't learn at all. Imagine that. Imagine not learning at all.
it's like the Lakers and the Knicks. You know, you either like one or the other. And if you live on the west side, the left coast, you like West Coast style gangster rap, however, it's all good. It's just something that's fabricated to sell records and.
I mean, was Lil Durk just fabricating everything just to sell records? I don't know. Imagine if it was all made up. Imagine that. Imagine, you know, if it wasn't a real credit card. Imagine if it was a fake credit card. Imagine that.
Money, but you know, there's pride in your hometown and the side of the country where you live in, and that's what I think it's may or
What's going on, Rage? Do it.
not be about. You know?
Is there a difference between the rapping on the West Coast and the rap LA and the rapping in New York? He was from Brooklyn. Is there a difference between West Coast rap and East Coast?
I say it is, but well, let's say it like.
Let's get back to the video. Let's get back to the video. Lil Durk went all the way to California to go commit a crime. You know, Tupac, you know, went all the way to California to go be around Suge Knight to go commit a crime. Puff Daddy went to the West Coast to hang out with Keefy D. Keefy D went to go commit a crime. All these rappers are just doing crimes. I don't know why.
This. If you notice, you hardly ever hear any of the East Coast rappers' songs being played on the West Coast, or the artists that's known as being East Coast artists. If they're not superstars, huge in the industry, their music isn't, you know, played on this side of the country. And the difference between East and West is.
What's the difference between Old Block and 63rd? Jane Maine went to 63rd, Old Block, and one of the Old Block members say, you know what, Jane Maine, why can't you bring us on 63rd? Imagine that, imagine that. Everybody's friends again.
I don't know, it's all good, because, you know.
Is there a rivalry between the two? Feuding?
I really can't say if there is or not, but, you know, it's, once again, I just want to say that, you know, you support your side of what city and state you from, what country you from, and that's it, really. It's, once again, I just want to say that it's unfortunate to, you know, the industry and black people as a whole to lose somebody like this, you know. And
unfortunately, this happened so long ago. These individuals never learned from it. If anything, if they don't talk about crimes, they're not talking about anything at all. So what happened to Biggie and Tupac, no one learned from it. Everything got tenfold, 10 times worse. Lil Durk's going to jail. P. Diddy's in jail. Suge Knight's in jail. All three millionaires. Unbelievable. Till next time. They say crime don't pay. But I see them do it, though. I'll be back live in 10 minutes.